I told you guys that I was going to walk through the entire experience with you, do a vlog so that you would understand what the process is like for you who are going through it and for those that needed a guinea pig. So I will be the one that is the sacrificial lamb. So we're going to start off with one of the most important things for me is accountability. And so if a person advertises something, I want them to back up what they advertise. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over what was advertised and tell you step by step what happened and give you a brief run through. Anyway, so we're going to review what was told to me. So what was told to me was, first of all, the price for the VIP package and what the VIP package entailed, which was VIP transportation in Istanbul with the Mercedes from the airport to the hotel to the clinic, hotel, etc. 3 nights, 4 days stay in the 5-star hotel, accommodations, breakfast included, mini bar is not free in Istanbul, Ramada, Wyndham, or the Elite World Istanbul. I chose Ramada. I know what Ramada was, and I know what Ramada is in Houston. So, yeah. So let's just hop on the flight, and we're gonna talk about how things were when I got there. So this is our arrival into Istanbul. I took Kirk with me. Both of us did a hair transplant together. First of all, the airport is amazing. It's one of the most beautiful airports that I've seen in all my traveling. Mansour stayed in contact with me the entire time, which he was my representative. And once I got into the city, I contacted him through WhatsApp. Told me to walk out the gates. As soon as I walked out, look to the right, there's going to be somebody there with a sign. To his word, there was somebody there with a sign. I got them. I would have taken a video of it, but there was manned guards at the door. So this is the video that I could take. Now it's a bunch of people standing outside the gates. We're waiting on him. I had to give them my ID, my passport. They signed my name off, and then they walked transportation. And so this is the transportation. Now, it is a Mercedes van, and this was a very nice Mercedes van. I was like, okay, look at this. Had stuff in the ceilings, had water for us, leather seats, smelled nice. He was nice. I mean, it was beautiful. So this is the Ramada Hotel. Now, in Merter. So I walk in, we check in, it's seamless. The interior is nice. It's not like crazy, but it's nice. And so we walk straight through. Once you sign in or you get your room, they give you your keys. You get there, concierge walks you to the elevator. From the elevator, you go upstairs. And then once you get to your floor, my first impression, which is what I said, it smelled like old and damp. It smelled like an old facility. It really did not smell fragrant. So I was like, oh crap. It smells like one of them old Motel 8s or Motel 6s. Yeah. So now we go into the room. The room was a little bit more fresh. The room was decent. I keep saying decent. We did ask for a king size bed or queen. They could not accommodate. They can only give us 2 fulls. Fine, not for the complaint. The room was a basic room. Mediocre at best. That's my result. Now, I will pause here and say they advertised a 5-star. I did my research on TripAdvisor, which is where I always go whenever I do travel abroad. But since this was free, I didn't make a big deal about it, but you can tell that it's not a 5-star. So I'm not sure what their ratings are and why they say a 5-star is a 5-star, but this was definitely not a 5-star. Maybe a 3.5 to 4 at best, but 5-star, no. And the ratings on TripAdvisor were not that good. Some of the comments were kind of hard to stomach. But for my room, it was clean. The halls did not smell good, but yeah, it was pretty clean. So moving forward, this is the breakfast buffet. I wasn't too sure what that was. To be honest with you, I wasn't too sure what any of this stuff was, but it was free. It was edible. Those are fruit. I'm assuming steamed fruit and a fruit, Lord, steamed vegetables. I'm not sure what that was. It was fried something squishy and mushy. Yeah, that's the name of it. You go find out what that is because I didn't know what it was. And this is sausages or weenies. Yeah. This looked like it tapped your stomach, so I left it all alone. So there's cheeses, yogurts, salads, jello. I mean, it's a buffet. It's free. And it's decent. It's clean. So again, not a 5-star, but not enough to complain about, especially since it's free. Now, this is going to Caymaz. They did what they said. They picked me up, or picked us up, drove us there, so we had no issues. They were waiting on us 7:30 in the morning. We got in there. There's a kind of they pull up to a little area. It's like behind some buildings, and then it's an office building with a whole bunch of offices. Then you get out and you walk to the facility. You go through these doors. Now nothing says Caymaz. It's not like Hair of Istanbul where the whole facility is there. Caymaz has a floor. So we walk through, and it's not Mansour that meets us, it's another guy. And so then we go up. And this is Caymaz's area. It's clean, neat and tidy, nothing to complain about. Mansour did meet us. I did get to talk to him, and he helped because Dr. Caymaz does not speak English. But this is Caymaz drawing the line. That's Dr. Caymaz. That's them with the IV, and that's Kurt. They're checking out his donor area, seeing the health of his hair follicles in the back. I could record him. He wasn't able to record me because they stuck the thing in his arm. He was about to pass out. So I was on my own about recording. So this is his hair donor area, and they're trying to make sure that it's healthy.
Be careful not to do after the surgery.
Yeah, I don't want to do that after surgery.
Exactly.
Surgery any hit can cause a little damage. Your donor really looking good, so let's use it.
Amazing. Now, one thing about the hairline drawing process, once they do it, make sure that you're satisfied with it, because Kurt was not satisfied. He's like, I want this line to be here. I want this to be here. I even had to go back and say some things were crooked. So don't be afraid to speak your mind. But for the drawing of the line, that's essential because that's where your hairline is going to be. So be as anal as you need to be. But the process was good. No complaints. They shaved my head. They didn't shave his head until later, but they shaved my head first. After they shave your head, then they put you in this room and ask you to do a little video for their Instagram page because you're going to go on their Instagram page. I think that's part of the thing that I signed in the beginning. But this is them asking me questions. And granted, I had no idea I was going to be questioned, had no idea this process was going to take place. Doesn't matter, but just keep in mind if you're going to Caymaz that this will be the process.
Yep. Like for the hair transplant.
Yeah, mainly for the hair transplant. It's his birthday at the end of the week. So we're going to enjoy the town, enjoy the city, and so why we got the hair transplant?
Yep.
Because
Why especially Turkey for the hair transplant?
why Turkey? Because it was more reasonable, and Nick, I watched a lot of Nick's YouTube pages, and he had a lot of good things to say about Caymaz, and in comparison to Ashley Tarkins and other places, Caymaz was the best and had the best results so far. And it was great concierge. The person I talked to was like very informative. So
Thank you, sir. So what do you guys think now? What's in mind? Like what's the expectations for the day?
for the day,
Yeah, for
I
today.
have absolutely no idea. I'm a little scared, but not. So fingers crossed. We'll see how. Now, one thing that I want to bring up. There was a lot of talk on the Onagadan group about pain and the needleless anesthesia, which everybody advertises. Now, this is going to be the graphic part. I want you to pay attention to the quote unquote needleless anesthesia. Now, I will enlighten you. I did take some Xanax. They don't recommend Xanax, but they offer it. But for me, I didn't trust them enough to take whatever they offered me, so I brought my own. The problem is, I didn't know when to take it. So I took it after they interviewed me and then brought me into the room. They're like, okay, lay down. I was like, wait, we finna do it now? So then I popped the pill then. Sir, you about to get... Xanax takes 30 minutes to work. So they lay you out and immediately get to work. And so this is them getting to work. Now this is the needleless anesthesia. Now I say it feels like a rubber band popping, and I'm not lying. And they hit it, pop, pop, pop. So that does feel like little rubber bands. But please know, the needles are coming afterwards. That's the needle. You feel it. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, but you do feel it. Now, this is extraction process. These are the techs extracting. Now, there was a little issue. Mine went well as far as the extraction is concerned. Now, I will admit to you this part. Though the needleless pops, those are little rubber bands. You do feel the needle, so I don't know what the purpose of the needleless stuff is because you still feel it. The interesting part to me was, though I took the Xanax, I'm waiting to fall asleep, and I'm hearing saws. They're going zing. So they're cutting pieces of your skin with the hair follicle in it. And this is a consistent, for the 4 hours that you're down there. Bzzz, zzz. And me, I have a problem sleeping, so bzzz kept me up. Yeah. So do you feel the saw? Because it is legitimately a little saw. As long as they numb you. They had to come back and numb me some more because I was like, okay, I do feel that. Because they were over here and they were over here. I started feeling it over here, so they had to re-needle me. And at that time, you're going through it, so you're like, bring on the pain at that point. So it's not that it's like excruciating pain on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, I say it was a 5. Now for Kurt, he unfortunately has headaches, so he took a Tylenol that morning because he woke up with a headache. The problem with Tylenol, of course, is a blood thinner. So they're cutting on him and he bleeding like crazy. And so that became an issue because they were concerned about him bleeding out too much. For me, it was not that big of a concern. Now, one of the doctors said whenever I was conversing with them that because my hair's curly, some of the extraction possibly won't be used. When I got up from the extracting process, they told me we took maybe 3,000 and 3,500, not sure. But they said we can only use 2,500 of them because they're so curly and they're so fine. I was like, okay, at the time. And so they were a little concerned because did I count 2,500? No. I will say, I think this will be the difference between Caymaz and Ashley is that Ashley is going to put in everything that they take out. Caymaz and Hair of Istanbul are not. And so they only put in what could survive, which was interesting to me. So that took away from the parts that they could put in my head. So moving on, after the first part, you then take a break, as they stated. They give you lunch, and I should have taken pictures of what the lunch was. It was fine. It was good enough to eat. 10 to 15 minutes or so, and drink water, etc. Go use the bathroom. Then they say, okay, we're ready for your second half. I pop another pill, and this time they sit you back as opposed to putting forward. And there is no needleless injection. This is just straight shot to the forehead. So you feel it out because they got to deaden all this area. So they deaden it, and it's like you're not caught a whooping now, so you might as well just finish the whooping. So you feel all this. Nobody talks about that, but you feel the second half of them injecting that area. But once they inject it, you're good. The opening up of channels, I didn't feel that second half. That second half was a lot better than the first half. Also, there's no sawing or whatever. They're just opening up the channels, or the doctor is doing it. So, because I did the VIP. So that was seamless for me. I kind of dozed off after a while because once they numb it, you good. After that, they wake me up or whatever. Then they stand me up and it's like, okay, well, you're done and you're all wrapped up. And so I talk to the people and I'm like, can I take a picture with the text? And so after I take a picture with the text, that's when Kurt comes out, and Kurt is bloody, but it's not overly bloody. So it's like, okay, he's good now because they stabilized him. So then this is the part of him getting instructions from our guy.
And some other we have to talk about them now. Here is the after operation instruction. Okay? And it's very important. It's not like the before operation instruction and you just go with it. What you haven't had. Now, to get close to your results, you have to follow these things and avoid the things to avoid. Okay? Times here are general. It could change between human being and another. During to the different type of hair, different type of organism, everyone reacts to the operation different. So you could get 6 days, you could get 4 days. But times are more general. But to make sure from everything he has to stay in contact with us. Because we judge on the basis what stage we are. Are we finished shedding? Are we in shedding? Or at the case, what's the color of the skin? That's the things that we judge if you can best, things like that. Go right to the important part, which is the builds. So this one, the one only in box, separated, is Cibro 19, Cibro 19, organized by the first 5 people. Okay. So this one you can do. You have to do twice a day, every 12 hours. The first night, the first one has to be tonight. So this for the first tonight. You are free to choose the time, but you have to follow it. One bill every 12 hours. So if you take 10 tonight, it's gonna be 10 morning, 10 night, 10 morning till the end of the week.
Right. Okay.
Till you finish the 14. Okay. The second one is Bridnol, preventing swelling.
Oh.
And Bridnol has a method to follow. It's 3, 2, 1 on 3 days. So how would that work? I put them already so you can recognize them.
Okay.
Starting from tomorrow, Sunday, you will do one breakfast, one lunch, and one dinner.
Okay.
Monday, you'll do one breakfast and one dinner. And on Tuesday, you're gonna do just breakfast.
Okay.
Simple.
Simple.
Okay. Coraspine, which aspirin, we are not gonna talk about it. I will wait from you photograph tonight and maybe tomorrow morning until the doctor gonna say when you can start it, because you already have aspirin and we don't know how much milligram aspirin you have in your body. So if you can, if you find out, tell us. It's gonna be very good.
Okay.
So the rest of the stuff I need you to read. If you have any questions, contact me. I have only this number.
Okay.
So you may write me a message. Let's go. I'm gonna write to you some things in the back that he already knows. So I managed to write it. So what are these 4 quick tips? They're very simple. You are not supposed to hit or touch your head for at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's very easy and simple to do.
Right.
The easiest to do it is to keep all your movements slow.
Right.
Keep always in your mind that something up there is huge.
Right.
If you find yourself,
Like there's a book on your head and you're trying to balance it.
Yeah.
Don't touch the big thing.
yeah, if you struggling to keep your mind in a state that something up there and you keep like going inside that you feel yourself going for a hit or something, we advise you to wear this, following the method also to avoid any close movements. You can put it from the side. If you wear it all day, it's gonna 100% aware you there's something there,
Right.
because it's gonna hold your neck.
Okay.
So, just 10 days. 10
Okay.
days will go like this.
Right.
All what you're required to do is to keep all your movements slow.
Okay.
You're not supposed to look down at all.
Okay.
And I mean this first night, because you will increase the bleeding. It's already started to look red. It's normal. We will clean it on Monday.
Right.
Nothing happens. But if he looks down, it's gonna bleed. And when it dries, if you look down, the swelling will move.
Oh. Okay.
So the thing with moving swelling, you're looking down like to tie shoes or send a message. I mean for him, not you. It's gonna nothing. But if you look for a long time, hours, the swelling will move. That's why you sleep under your back.
Right.
It's not harmful for your grafts or your health, but 100% doesn't look comfortable.
Right.
The third one, to keep the swelling goes from the back. You attach the neck pillow, gather the pillows around you in the bed, try to sleep in the semi-sitting position, what they call 45 degrees or something.
Right.
Close to that, I know it's hard. It's better if you do it. If you can't, no worries. Just gather yourself with the pillows to keep you in that position and just sleep in your back.
Right.
Fourth one is spray water. So this water is serum water. It has some, it's medical water. It has some serum of this.
Okay.
Which one? The one that he had. Just experiment that we are trying if it's gonna help with the cure to, like, guess one day, minutes when they were checking some things, but the main purpose for using it, the same that they were doing.
Yeah.
Not to get dry too fast. It helps to be easier scabs to move in the 10th hair wash. Helps to not getting itching, because if it dries fast, you will get very, very itching feeling,
Right.
and you can't itch it. And you're also gonna get bad scabs in the end,
Right.
the big ones like this. So when we start to use it, and you have to understand that your case not following him.
Right.
You guys are friends, you guys are together, you guys did the surgery together, no scares or that, but your body can react very, very different than his body.
Right. Right.
So when we tell you to start use it, you're gonna use it every 2 to 4 hours. You're just gonna do 4 sprays maybe just to cover it.
Right.
Make it just moist. Maybe from a distance you can just do 2 or 3. Maybe he can help you and you can help him. This is gonna be amazing. You guys gonna help yourself out with this. It's gonna be good. But you still can do this by yourself.
Okay.
So, question.
After all those instructions, now granted, they give you instructions on paper, and this is pretty much like your Bible. After you leave, you constantly check this out, and it tells you almost verbatim what to do for the next 3 months, along with the meds. So this will be your Bible. But with Caymaz, you're able to ask questions. So I continued to ask Mansour, and he kept asking for pictures and videos after and while we were there. So let's keep going. So this is the night of. You're still bloody. That bandage in the back is it's more annoying than anything because you kind of take a bath without getting it wet, and they said don't wash your hair, of course, so it's kind of sensitive. Now that's the only bad part. This is the only part that they can give me as far as in this area. I think they said it was like 200 grafts were put here. This is the next morning. Kurt's bloody, I'm bloody. That's Kurt. He got the full, all the way through. He got full 2,500. Now this is getting into the car for the first wash. And my big head hit the top. Now granted, look at the difference in the car. The second ride, it's got tears in the seats. It's not nearly as attractive. Now my cloth is coming off. His is still pretty much secure, but mine is kind of hanging by a thread. Now when we got there, because of Kurt's clotting and such, he had some issues. So they went ahead and sprayed the area with the foam, and that's part of your first wash. Put the foam in. I had to put the foam in. It's day 3 of the wash. This is what they just came and sprayed on my head. Not sure if you can see my donor area, but they just took the bandages off. It did hurt a little bit. Feels like alcohol after you shave, but yeah. I got mine done with Caymaz, but my friend got his done with the Tex, and they seem to be concerned. He's clotting in his head, so they are taking him back to do something extra. I'll let you know what that was, but so maybe VIP is the best way to go. After the bandages came off, I was texting, and stuff started swelling immediately. So I went in and took my pill, but yeah, it's swelling after they took off the bandages. So I'm gonna stick my head up and stop looking down at my phone.
Instead of this one, you will start to use these sprays from now on.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
You got it?
Got it. This is
Third time.
3 times a day.
Okay, so the thing to take back from, now this is the 3rd day, which is your wash. They were concerned about his clotting. So they gave him, I forget what the shot was, but he said that shot actually hurt. But then they gave him extra meds because he took the Tylenol previously. I attributed that to him going with the Tex, me going with the VIP treatment. I didn't have as many drawbacks, but I think it's more to do with the Tylenol than with the Tex. Unsure. Now, as far as me, swelling is always big. Part of the videos that I watch, people's head swole big right afterwards. So they said the key to not getting a swollen head is to keep your head up, not to look down. And of course, I was looking down the text and video and such. And of course, I started getting swollen in the forehead. That's part of the process. So now we're walking out of the facility. Mansour is walking us out. I'm trying to take videos of the room and such, because these are different rooms. That's where we did our wash. You just back your head up and they wash the top of your head. This is back in the front.
I hit myself?
All right, so now this is my donor area after the fact. Now, one thing that I did mention while I was in the chair was them taking their bandages off. If you go through this process, make sure that you let them know to take the bandages off slow, because if they snatch, then they're going to snatch skin, and that's going to be one of the problems with the healing process. Me, I think they snatched it, so that's why it felt like alcohol. So I continued to have issues with that after the fact. So moving on. Now that's Kurt's area. He looks pretty raw, and his looks very raw from where they extracted. This is 3 days after the transplant. Scabbing has started. My donor area is still looking sensitive. It's very red. I had a lot of issues here because I think that's where they pulled. And this area was definitely sensitive. But they give you a serum to put on it, a little salve, if you will. Now, you're in the city, so of course you're going to want to see the city. So we went to see the city. You're supposed to have an umbrella on your head. He had an umbrella, but he started having clotting issues again. So I continued to send pictures back to Mansour. They had the cream that he was supposed to apply to the area, and it just kind of caked on. This is the stuff that we're supposed to put on our donor area. Day 5 after the transplant. Now this is us home. Day 7 for me after the transplant, when I got home. Kurt still has some issues with his hair growing and the clotting. These were hair, he thought it was hair follicles, but it was just skin. That's the stuff that you spray on your head to keep it wet, because you're supposed to keep it wet. And some, I forget what it's called, bio. All right, so let's get the full rating. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I rate the Caymaz experience? 8.5 to 9. Number one, they did everything they said it was going to do. Everything that was advertised is what they did. The only problem is the accommodations were not 5-star. The transportation was very nice the first day when we got from the airport. Every ride after that, it got worse and worse and worse. The vehicle got worse, and we didn't have the same person. And one of them was a little aggravated because it took us a long time to get outside, but be that as it may. But the third thing, the needless anesthesia, I wish they would just stop saying that, because those little pops, they're irritating at best, but you're still getting the needle. What's the point of lying? So, and you still feel it. The SARS you feel, and you hear. It's kind of like going to the dentist. Now, the break for the lunch, the second part of the incisions, then they have to stick you with the anesthesia again. You feel those in your forehead. Other than that, the communication was excellent. Mansour was excellent. Now we're just waiting on the process to get results. I will say, because they couldn't plant as many as they thought they would, they gave me some extra drugs that would have normally cost something. So I will say they're reputable. I will say that they do their best to make sure that you're satisfied. and they are very concerned about your health and making sure that they do a good job. So I rate them an 8.5 to 9. And would I do it again? No. If this don't stick, I ain't doing it again. Just because I'm a punk when it comes to surgeries. So that's it. And my next video will be the next video of my growth process from here after surgery to 5 months, 6 months, and we'll see how much I've grown. So fingers crossed, y'all pray for me. God be with you, and I hope this was informative. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will answer them as quickly as I possibly can. All right?